Hi everyone, how have you all been? It's great to see you guys again. I've just missed 1 week for a live stream, yet it feels like I've not spoken to you guys for such a long time, and it's just been 1 week. Oh, it's great to see all of you here. The G Gamer, Cole, Electrify, Jess, Rohan, Goat, the Dark Lord, Saeed, Jess, Khan, Crazy Cat Lady, JWK, Andrew, Nate the Great, JD is here. Let's see. Ephraim is here as well. Did I say the Dark Lord? The Time Shadow. Batman's Gamer, Selena. Great to see all of you. Adam Grunther is here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Oh, hi, Adam. Gregory, great to see you too, buddy. Oh, you guys are all nice, all saying, like, what's up, how am I? I'm doing I'm doing a lot better, thank you. As you can see, I'm just coming towards the end of it, of the cold. I just have, like, this cough that comes out, but that's really about it. Ultimately, yeah, I'm feeling much better than I did last week. Last week, I couldn't even... It's like my nose was just completely blocked, and I was coughing every few seconds. And that's when I was being quiet, so imagine if I was talking, how much I'd be coughing. I just wouldn't be able to get through a stream, so I had to cancel that stream. And for those of you that are wondering why this stream took longer, it's because my sister came to visit, and me and my brothers were hanging out with her, watching TV and stuff. We were watching the Cuphead show on Netflix, so we were having fun there, and that's why the stream took longer. I always intended to do it, but I was enjoying hanging out with my sister and just having a good time. So I thought, let's wait a few more hours. And by waiting a few hours, I was also able to do an experiment that I've always been intending to do with these live streams. That being, what happens if I stream later than my usual time? I wanted to see if potentially I could get some more viewers coming in. I thought that would be interesting to have a look at as an experiment. So that's why it took longer. So I apologize. And to all of you watching as well, you guys have been asking me as I've been recovering, how's my top 5, my best movies of the year list going for 2024? It's going very well. I've already written the script, I've recorded the voiceover, I've edited the voiceover. I've edited, I think, 3 of the 6 movies that I've put on the list. So if I wasn't doing this, I would have ended up doing even more. I would have ended up doing even more editing on the top movies list. But I'm doing this to chat with you guys now, and so yeah, hopefully when this is over, if I'm still awake enough, I'll edit some more. If not, I'll do it in the morning. But I've got plenty of stuff. And Adam Grunther, by the way, I'm sorry I did not respond to your messages about Creature Commando. Yes, you can tell, you're on Patreon, you've already seen it. I am going to be reacting to each and every single Creature Commandos episode. I was not able to watch the others because, like I said, I caught a cold, and if you watched that, you probably would have realized I was starting to cough a bit, and turns out it was because I was catching a cold, so that was the early signs. But yeah, now that I'm over the worst of it, I can catch up on a bit of editing and then get straight back to watching Creature Commandos. I want to enjoy that, so I don't want to cough while I'm watching it, so I decided to get better. But yeah, that's basically done. I've also wrote my list of my top 5 worst movies of the year. I still got to see Megamind 2, so I'm holding out to see if that movie could end up being on the list as well, as G-Gamer requested a review of that. So I'm gonna do as I promised and watch the movie before I do my worst of list. So that's just a little update there. And also my Moana 1 vs 2 video, closer to being finished. I think I've edited the whole thing, I just got to put the music in now. It's just very tricky to find music that fits Moana, because I can't use the music from the movie, and there's not much music of Moana actually out there on the internet to use, so yeah, I'm having to figure that part out. And who said that? Someone asked a question, I think, right there. Give me a second. Oh, Happy New Year to you too, Jess, but that's not the question that I'm talking about. Harsher Critical, I did not watch Nosferatu. The reason why is because that didn't come out until January in, you know, where I am. So that movie's not going to be a part of my top movies list. If it's a part of a list, it'll be the part of the the best movies of 2025 list. Or worst movies of 2025 list, you never know. Batman's Gamer has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Batman's Gamer. We didn't do any super chats last week on last week's stream because there was no last week's stream, so I appreciate the super chats. It definitely helps. Batman's Gamer says, just finished eating, so perfectly timing today. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I gave Creature Commandos a 7.5 out of 10. Supergirl starts filming tomorrow, by the way. Yes, I heard that Supergirl is filming right around the corner. I like the rollout in terms of how they're filming these DCU movies. Whereas with Marvel, like for example, I don't know if you've heard, but Captain America Brave New World has apparently got more reshoots going. They're trying to reshoot the ending, apparently, because this is the rumor I heard. The rumor I heard is that Falcon and the Red Hulk, they both fight each other, and Captain America, Captain America, really holds his own against the Red Hulk. And by the end of it, what they do is some third party comes in and they throw sleeping gas at them, or sleeping darts or something, and that's how the fight ends. And apparently test screeners really did not respond well to that, and they did not respond well to the fact that Captain America was surviving all those punches, seeing as he's just human. So yeah, they had to do more reshoots, and the movie's coming out next month. The last time they had this much reshoots and the movie was just about to release the very next month was Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So the fact they're doing this now with Captain America Brave New World is not a good sign. Compare that to what James Gunn is doing with Superman, and what he did with Peacemaker Season 1 and Season 2, and what he's doing now with Supergirl, even the Penguin show, and the Batman from Matt Reeves. Whenever they start putting these, and we've got the Green Lantern show for HBO coming to fruition soon, they're going to start shooting that soon as well. I really do like how DC seems to have their shit together in terms of their schedule. Their schedule seems very much like it's professionally planned. Whereas with Marvel, as soon as they say they start shooting, you know that they're going to be doing reshoots after they've finished filming. So it feels like the shooting is never over. The process is never really like expanding, or it's never really moving forward. That's what it always feels like when it comes to Marvel when they start shooting things. But with James Gunn, with his Superman movie and with Supergirl, I feel like, yeah, let's get through the shooting phase, then we'll be in the post-production phase, and then you'll be in the releasing the movie phase. So I like how everyone else in DC is like really, especially with James Gunn at the helm now and the DCU, everything's moving along quite nicely. But then you see what Marvel are doing and you just fear for those reshoots. Saeed says they haven't even released the Daredevil Born Again trailer. Does that mean the show is bad? No, it probably means that they are just trying to first advertise Captain America Brave New World, then they'll probably try to advertise Daredevil Born Again. So I don't think that means Daredevil Born Again is gone. It just means that they're trying to, or it's going to be bad. It could be, who knows. But I think it means they just want to get the Brave New World movie advertised first, and then shortly after that I think they'll start rolling out the Daredevil trailers and marketing. So that's what I think is going on. Jess has super chatted $10. Thank you very much, Jess, for that. I really appreciate it. Jess says, the MCU in the 2010s was the best, and it's better than the DCEU dumpster. What happens if Michael Bay directs the Batman? If Idris Elba retires, then I want The Rock to play Knuckles, because he's awesome. Alright, that seems like a lot of questions there, Jess. Let me break them down. The first question, the MCU in the 2010s was the best, and it was better than the DCEU dumpster fire. In terms of having a cohesive world, I agree, but in terms of the individual movies, I actually thought they were much more better constructed in terms of their filmmaking in the DCEU. Like, Aquaman was a beautifully put together movie in terms of the production value of it. The first Shazam was really well put together. The first Wonder Woman was really well put together. And then, yeah, they had some stinkers in this. But I think in terms of those movies, I think did better in terms of, you know, a solid standalone production, I think. And they weren't all just jokey movies. What's the other one? What happens if Michael Bay directs the Batman? You'll just get explosions and that's it. Nothing smart. If if Idris Elba retires, then I want The Rock to play Knuckles, because he's awesome. No, I don't want The Rock to play any of these characters. I'm just done with The Rock. Let's see what his A24 movie is like, because him being The Rock, I'm really just done with that. I didn't even watch that Red One, that Christmas movie he did, because I'm really just kind of tired of him. Khan says, hey, guess what, Eric? It's the first live stream of 2025. Yeah, that's really cool. That is cool. I didn't think of that. Yeah, the first live stream of 2025. I hope you guys enjoy it. Sorry I'm late, says Supersonic Adventures. Don't worry, buddy, you're not late. We are just having a chat and catching up, seeing as I wasn't here for last week's stream. Nate the Great says the Creature Commandos is good, but not great. I've only seen the first episode, and I've filmed my entire reaction to the first episode and put it on Patreon. It'll come to YouTube members very soon as well. So if you guys want to see my entire reaction to the whole show, then head on over to my Patreon. I'm considering making another video about Creature Commandos. I'm considering making a video for my channel, but I'm considering it. If you want to see my instant reaction as soon as I've watched them, head on over to Patreon, and you'll see my reactions as soon as I've seen the episodes. My entire reaction to the episodes. Harsher Critical says, did you ever watch the Watchmen TV show? No, I never did, although I think Adam Grunther wanted me to. But yeah, that never actually materialized. We'll see what happens at some point. Maybe someday I will. Sonic has the worst fan base, says Y Arc 9. You have to describe to me in what way. They've been pretty cool, I think. I just saw Adam Grunther's name and then it disappeared. What do you think is the most overrated and underrated MCU movie? The most overrated MCU movie? Ooh, that's a good question. What is the movie that... Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming. You guys know I was never really a fan of that movie. And the most underrated... I mean... I think they got to be pretty bad if people don't like them, certain MCU movies. I'll say... I'd say probably the most underrated... None are really coming to mind right now. Probably the most underrated is... Aha, Khan says it very well. I'd say The Incredible Hulk. Adam Grunther, I don't know if Captain America 1 is exactly underrated. You know what? I'm going to give you multiple answers. How's that? Multiple answers. Thor 1, I do agree, actually, Adam Grunther is kind of underrated, but I think people have... Their appreciation has grown towards it as time has gone on, especially with Endgame. I think that... Thank you, Time Shadow. I'll answer your question in a second. I think that Iron Man 3 is underrated. Thor 1 is underrated. And yeah, sure thing, I'll put the first Captain America in there. And also The Incredible Hulk, I think, is also underrated. It's not a great movie, but not as bad as people say. Jess says The Incredible Hulk is better than She-Hulk. It totally is. Let me see. What was that other question there? Iron Man 3 as well, says Batman's Gamer. Yeah, I do think Iron Man 3 is underrated, by the way. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's not a good... It's just I'd say it's decent, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I've seen far worse movies in the MCU given a pass. Let's see. A lot of questions here. David, yes, I did make the best movies of 2024. I'm editing it. I've edited 3 of the movies so far on my list, and I've got a couple more to edit as well. Or was it? No, it's 4 I've edited, so I've got 2 more to do. Homecoming isn't even talked about, bruv, says Batman's Gamer. But look at when it came out, everyone was giving it like the best reviews, and I don't understand it, because I don't think it was the best. I think it was the worst of Tom Holland's MCU movies. So yeah. Alright, the Time Shadow says, sorry, I missed the and he donated through Streamlabs. So thank you very much, Time Shadow, for donating through Streamlabs. If you guys want to donate through Streamlabs, it's the best way to donate. Plus, you get your, just like Jonah White, who's perfectly demonstrated it with his timing. You get your name shown on the screen, and you get the nice sound as well. And you get your question shown on the screen too. Alright, so... Time Shadow says, sorry I missed the last stream of 2024. The entire week I was playing stuff with my family and spending a lot of time with them. I've watched it now, though. No worries at all, buddy. Although that was interesting. We all found out that was the last stream of the year. But, yeah, I'm glad you're here, buddy. You're here with the first stream of the year, so that's good. And we got Jonah White, who has donated £4.10 through Streamlabs. £4.10 through Streamlabs says... Hi Eric, have you watched Rebel Ridge movie to see Aaron Pierre to prep for his version of Green Lantern? Also, what are some of your expectations for the Supergirl movie? Okay, so Rebel Ridge, I've not seen it. I have no idea what the movie's about. I've even read the synopsis, and I still don't really know what the movie is about. But I want to see it at some point, but I've got other stuff on my list first. And what my expectations for the Supergirl movie? I really don't know. I don't even... To be honest with you, Supergirl is probably is a movie I'd probably want much later in the DCU. I wouldn't want it to be the second movie, Superman then Supergirl. I would want it to be a movie later on down the line, maybe a few years later. You know, just enjoy a universe where Superman is the main Kryptonian, because part of Superman's journey is to see him feel alone, you know, as a Kryptonian, and then find out he doesn't have to feel alone as a Kryptonian because there are other characters that, you know, that he considers family. But to throw in a Kryptonian family member so early, I don't think it is a good call, really. So I hope that Supergirl does not show up in this next Superman movie, but rumors are is that either he's going to show up in the Supergirl movie or she's going to show up in a credit scene in the Superman movie. But I really hope that she... I really hope she doesn't... well, I would want her not to show up so soon, but she's going to. I think it's already been done. Electrify says, Eric, does Streamlabs have problems with donations, just asking for donating? No, it doesn't. If anything, it's a very reliable way of donating. In fact, some of you who actually commissioned videos from me, if you don't want to do it through Patreon, I've actually told people to do it through Streamlabs, and it's worked every single time, no problem. So Streamlabs is like #1 most reliable. I put it right up there. And if there's any problems, it'll tell you there's problems. It won't donate and then not have your message go through. So trust me, Streamlabs, there's a reason I went with them. It's because I wholeheartedly trust them. So I would recommend using Streamlabs if you can. Sarah has joined the chat. Happy New Year to you too, Sarah. And Adam Grunther says, my best guess why Supergirl is sooner than later is because she's going to be the 7th member of the Justice League in the DCU instead of Aquaman. I don't know, you don't need to have Aquaman, but you could have Martian Manhunter. Just look at the original Justice League lineup in the animated series. That's the lineup I want. I don't want Supergirl in there. I like how there's one type of different superheroes in there. There's one Batman, there's one Superman, there's one Wonder Woman, one Green Lantern, one Flash. You know, you have your other versions, but you don't want multiple versions. So having a Supergirl in there, I would not approve of that personally. Okay, so Jonah White says... Oh, I've already answered this question. We got Crazy Cat Lady, who, as I say, is a very nice cat lady. She donated through Streamlabs as well. Thank you very, very much. And she says... Let's see here. She says... Man, I need to get a new pen here. Okay, Nice Cat Lady says... Have you seen Wild Robot or Flow, that a France movie? That's a France movie, but that's animated with no dialogue. It's about animals on a boat. It's up for an Oscar. I have seen Wild Robot, and I saw it a couple weeks ago in preparation for my top 5 best and worst movies list. I was like, let's give that a watch to see if it ends up on there. If it does, it will remain to be seen. You're going to have to wait on that one. But yes, I did see the movie. Let's see. So Sarah says, it's been so long. Yes, it has. Well, it's not really been so long, but it does feel that way because we usually do a stream every week, don't we? But yeah, so it's great to see you, Sarah. Sarah, okay, I see what Sarah's doing. She says, Eric, it's been so long. I haven't seen you since last year. I get what you're doing, Sarah. Nice one, that is. Trevor says, hey Eric, ever heard of this horror movie that came out last year called Heretic with Hugh Grant? One of the best movies that came out last year in my opinion. Yes, me and my brother actually watched it for a movie night a week or 2 ago. It was fun, but I didn't love it. I thought it was decent. I liked it, but I feel like as it went on, especially with the ending, I don't know, it kind of got a bit silly as it went on, but there was a lot I really liked. A lot. It was really cool. You just donated, Electrify. Let's see here. Because it should pop up on the screen. I've got 3 donations, but not a 4th one yet. Have you thought about reacting to X-Men 97 after you finish Creature Commandos? Yes, I have, Adam Grunther. That's going to be coming. So yeah, I've definitely thought of that. In fact, I actually said I'll do that on Patreon. What was it? Yes, Sarah, I am feeling much better. Thank you very much. I actually was saying that I'm actually going to consider doing that for live streams on YouTube. So I'll consider doing that for sure, definitely. Let's see. Yes, I have heard Ephraim. I hope I said your name right. I have heard about George Miller directing Thor 5, like talking to Kevin Feige about it, and apparently Chris Hemsworth's set them both up for that. So that'll be cool to see what he could do with that. George Washington, is that you, Electrify? Did you put your name up as that? As George Washington. It says interesting. Anyway, George Washington, let me just make a note of your generous donation. There you go, £3 donation. What is your top 5 favourite horror movies? Okay, these are not really in a particular order. Well, I'll explain that in a second. Scream, the first Scream is my favourite horror movie. Then we have The Conjuring 1, then The Conjuring 2. Depending what mood I'm in, Conjuring 1 or 2, they are so good. They both sometimes just end up being in, you know, I keep switching their places. But I'll throw those ones in there. Another favourite horror movie that I like is... Oh, what's the other movie another horror movie that I can think of? I like Vacancy. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but that's the one that comes to mind. And then... What's the other one? What's another good horror movie? Should come to me. Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. Okay, now looks like I got a couple more super chats. Let me write those down. I got a $2 super chat. And another $2 super chat. One from Electrify, the other from Adam Grunther. So Electrify says the Sonic 3 movie got leaked on Twitter. Oh really? Wow. Is it a cam copy? Because I don't think there's an actual copy of that out yet, is there? And Adam Grunther says thoughts on Jason Momoa in Fast X. I liked him. I thought he was a bit too crazy. I don't know. I can't remember if I thought that was a good thing or a bad thing, but he came across like the Joker in how much he was laughing like crazy. It was insane. It really was. But yeah, I did like him. And I also really liked John Cena in there because after seeing Peacemaker, I became a fan of him. And when he showed up, I almost jumped out of my chair. Whereas in the Fast 9, I was just annoyed that he was even in there. I was like, oh, they're hiring another wrestler to be in these movies? Like, you know, like after The Rock, I wasn't surprised they tried to bring him in. But now he's a genuinely good actor when you see Peacemaker. He's got a lot of layers to him. It's full digital. Man, Electrify, it's a full-on digital version of it. Wow. I didn't know Sonic 3 was already out digital. I thought it was coming out in 21st of January, isn't it? Like 8 days or something? Okay, now we got Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who's come in. Doesn't Dwayne The Rock Johnson talk about how generous he is when it comes to these donations for people on the set and all that? Okay, this pen is getting on my nerves. It's just... can't write nothing with this. Let's see, what am I doing? Where is it? The £1 donation. Okay, there we go. There we go, finally. It's writing. Says, oh, Dwayne Johnson says, oh yes, it's me, Eric, your favourite celebrity, and I'll tell you some good news. I've been given the role of the new Joker in the DCU, so you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me. Happy New Year. Dwayne Johnson wanted to play Black Adam and have the whole world revolve around him. He's not going to end up playing the Joker. Honestly, I don't think he should be playing anyone in the DCU at this point. So yeah, screw him. Okay, so I have to go for a bit. Hopefully I can tune in later, says Cole. Cole, I was literally about to say let's get to the stories. So hopefully if you can jump back in soon, you can maybe see the stories as well as we go through them. Alright guys, you all know the rules when it comes to these stories. When I talk about them, you're gonna have to... you can ask me questions, but I won't be answering them. The only way I'll be answering them is if you donate them as Super Chats or Streamlabs Chats. That way, I'll see your question immediately, and I'll answer your question. Alright? That's what you're gonna want to do. Otherwise, I'm gonna be just paying attention to the stories. But if you want your question answered, has to be through a Streamlabs or Super Chat. Okay, let me just set this all up. Okay. Sarah says, Eric, why'd you start so late? Sarah, the reason I started late, and I actually talked about this earlier, the reason I started late was because my sister came to visit. She came to visit, and me, my brothers, me, her, and my brothers were hanging out. We were just chilling out, watching TV, watching Cuphead on Netflix, and I could have left sooner, but I wanted to spend more time with her. It's not often that she stays up late at night watching TV with us, so I thought, you know what, let's stay here for longer. And even if it's late, it's 1:18 in the morning right where I am. I thought, you know what, it's alright, I'll do it this time. Stream late if it means spending more time with her. Plus, I've always been curious. What would happen if I stream quite late. Like, will I reach another part of my audience? So I always wanted to experiment with that, and I thought now's the best time. Sarah says, oh, that sounds nice. I sadly have to go to sleep because it's 1 a.m. and I have school tomorrow. Harshly. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sarah. I really am. Well, however long you're able to stay up for, that'll be appreciated. But I love that you actually managed to come into the stream at least. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the first story, which will be about Jason Momoa. So here we go. Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo in the Supergirl movie. Now, it has been said for a while that this is going to happen. Hold on. Before we get to it, Kevin donated $5 through Super Chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. He says, should Disney remake Emperor's New Groove or do a sequel to Extremely Goofy Movie where Max puts a restraining order on his dad? Tell me why and glad you're okay. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate that. First of all, I'm sorry to say I've not seen the Goofy movie. I saw the trailer of it, but I never owned it on VHS when I was a kid, or DVD. So I'm sorry to say I don't know, I can't really say anything about that. But I will say, no, Disney should not remake Emperor's New Groove. And quite frankly, I don't think they should do a sequel to Extremely Goofy Movie, because they're not good with the remakes, and they're not good with the years-long later sequel. So I would say no to either of those. Disney have not got a good track record in that time. Let's see. So let's go back to what I was talking about. Pink Dragon says, hello Eric, how have you been, man? I've seen the Mufasa movie and really didn't like it. It was unnecessary and contradicts everything that was from the original Lion King. Sonic 3 film is better. It really is. Sarah says, okay, I really gotta go. Bye. I'll rewatch this. Bye, Batman's Gamer. Okay, bye, Sarah. Thank you very much for joining. I really do appreciate it. And because we're in a new year, I'll just say as well, thank you for all your Streamlabs donations and Super Chats donations last year. You especially, Sarah, you did a lot. So you have no idea how much that really helped the channel, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and good luck at school tomorrow. I wish you the best. And then Time Shadow has donated $2 and says, misread that as Jason Momoa is playing Supergirl. Oh, I'm sorry if I misread that. I'm monitoring all this stuff, so I must have got confused there. Thanks for catching me on that, Time Shadow. Okay, let me say that again. Let's start again. Jason Momoa has been cast to play Lobo in Supergirl. Now, a while ago, Jason Momoa posted a video on his Instagram where he was so excited about something, but he couldn't tell us about it. But he says, just remember this day. And well, now we know, all of us guessed what it was. We all said, everyone predicted at the time that he was given the role of Lobo. And well, now that has been confirmed to be true. It has officially been announced that he's going to be playing Lobo in the new Supergirl movie, and none of us are really surprised. It is great casting for him. But I will say, I will genuinely miss him as Aquaman. I thought he was fantastic as Aquaman. So I am genuinely kind of sad that he's not going to be doing it again. That is kind of a shame, I do have to say. It's kind of sad, but I'll forever remember him very fondly as playing Aquaman. And we got a €2 euros donation from Good Times, who says, Sonic 3 is my first film I saw twice in theaters. Ooh, wow, that's a good one to see twice as well. Even I felt like watching it again after, like, I think the next day or something. I didn't, but I felt like it. So yeah, Jason Momoa is playing Lobo, and Lobo is a character that actually looks like Jason Momoa, so that's very good casting. I wonder how they're going to do it. I hope they try to make him a bit scary, not just goofy and funny, because I know Lobo can be that, but we know James Gunn can really lean into that too heavily, and I hope he doesn't. I hope it's done well. And yeah, I think that's actually pretty cool. Adam Grunther says, I think it's for the best. We need a clean slate for the Justice League. I adore the first Aquaman movie, but I think it would be just weird if all the Justice League members were new actors except for him. Yeah, I know, it would be. Which is why I hope James Gunn does not bring in Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Or any of the Suicide Squad from his Suicide Squad movie, really. At least, let me put it this way. Any of the characters that have interacted with Ben Affleck's Batman or Henry Cavill's Superman or any of them, I hope they do not return. So Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman cannot return because she's been with both Batman and Superman. Also, I hope we don't get Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn because she's interacted with Ben Affleck's Superman in that first Suicide Squad movie. She's interacted with Jared Leto's Joker, if I can get my words out right. So it would be very weird if she then comes in and now interacts with a new Batman and a new Superman, and these are clearly younger versions of the characters. So for her to jump in here, it would not be good. So I would hope they don't bring her in. Jess says, oh, come on, Eric. Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn was great. That's not the point. We've got to look at some level of continuity here. So she cannot be in a new Superman movie or a new Batman movie where the Batman and Superman are different from the ones that she's interacted with. She's interacted with Ben Affleck's Batman. She did not interact with Henry Cavill's Superman, but it was clear that's the world that she was in. So yeah, no, she can't be in it. If you want a consistent world. Adam Grunther asks a very good question. What about Waller? Well, Waller, I would say she was quite high up, so I feel like it's still inconsistent, but you do raise a very good point, because I'm trying to think, I'm like, I can just go with it because she's monitored Peacemaker. She's also in Creature Commandos in the first episode, so I feel like if they want to fudge things with her, they probably just about could. But they can't do it with any of the other characters, because I don't think... Actually, no, she did talk to Ben Affleck, didn't she? I forgot that credit scene, I just remembered it now. But yeah, that's a good question. We'll have to see how James Gunn does it, because I feel like he can't just have her in there, talk to a different Batman. He's got to do something, so we'll see what happens. That was a cool credit scene, by the way, in that first Suicide Squad movie, at a time where credit scenes felt so sequely. That was sequely, but it was a really cool bit, I thought. Let's see, we've got... Is that €1, essentially, from Good Times. Thank you very much, Good Times. There's no question, just a laugh emoji. And let's see, we've got Jonah White, who's done another Streamlabs chat. Thank you very much, Jonah. You're being very generous here, you are. He did a £4, 10 pence donation. Thank you very much. He says, with Inside Out 2 and Deadpool 3 making over $1 billion for Disney and Moana 2 making, now at $989 million and counting, they will commit to only making sequels to make money and make money at the box office. Also, what are your thoughts on Aquaman 2? Yeah, 989 million. I did not know that. Looks, I in my Moana versus video, I said something about the movie not making $1 billion. I guess I should take that out of the versus video because it looks like the movie now has gone up. Everyone was saying, yeah, it's not going to make $1 billion because it looked like it had really slowed down. Like all these other movies had taken the wind out of its box office. But wow, impressive. If it's made that much, looks like it should make $1 billion any day now. So yeah, I guess I should take that part out of my versus video. So yeah, with Inside Out 2 and Deadpool making over $1 billion, yeah, they're going to make sequels, buddy. I think we all unfortunately came to that conclusion. But I mean, look at what DreamWorks did with The Wild Robot. So new movies can do good just so long as they make them good, essentially. Because movies like Moana and Inside Out, they started out as new IP as well. They weren't just, you know, already there in the ether. They had to establish themselves and carve a space for themselves in the Disney space. So Disney have to make original movies. They just can't, you know, be lazy about it, which they have been with a lot of their movies like Strange World and such. And what's the other question? Also, what are your thoughts on Aquaman 2? Aquaman 2 I didn't like. Did I do a review of it? I think I did a review on it on a live stream a while back when I was doing these live streams newly. Yeah, I was not a fan of it. You could tell it was butchered in the editing room, which is a shame. But I will still love that first movie. I really will. That was amazing. Adam Grunther says, I'm seeing Viola Davis as Waller as a similar situation to Judi Dench as M in the Bond movies. It's clearly different universes, but it still works. I think Davis is fantastic as Waller, so it's fine. That's a good way of looking at it. For me, I still think James Gunn is gonna have to find a way to get it all to kind of like flow together, I think. But yeah, that's a very good example. That's a very good example. Let's see. Anyone Disney will have pictures more fast. Yeah, good time. So he says, anyone heard how Disney was hogging screens from Mufasa, so Sonic 3 doesn't have much space to shine? Yeah, they did try to hog extra screens. You could tell Disney got into a bad mood when they were saying the #1 best movie in the box office. And people were like, no, it's not. Sonic is beating it at the domestic box office. And they were like, oh shit. And like they were silencing people in the comments. Shows how Disney got really... They had their ass handed to them because usually they own these years. Not this time. So yeah, that wasn't a good look for them. Okay, so yeah, Jason Momoa is gonna play Lobo. I think that's really cool. I'm glad he's still in the DCU because I think Jason Momoa is a great actor and I want to see him in more things. But I feel like he takes big pauses in between projects, which is probably a good thing, so that's why you want more of him. And from what I heard, if you watch the Johnny Depp court case, they actually said that one person who was Johnny Depp's lawyer, he actually had read the Dune books, and he talked about how Jason Momoa is actually going to return in the third movie. So that means Jason Momoa could come back to Dune, just like how if you watch the second movie, Josh Brolin came back. So yeah, interesting how they do that, isn't it? But yeah, we're going to see more of Jason Momoa, and I'm looking forward to it. So, with that said, time to move on to the next story. Oh, before we do, let me talk about the release date. I want to talk about the release date of Supergirl. Supergirl comes out in the 26th of June, 2026. Meanwhile, The Batman Part 2 comes out in October 1, 2027. So, I don't know how long they've been working on Supergirl for, but it is so annoying that Supergirl is coming out much sooner than Batman is. Batman's gonna take like another whole year and a few months to come out after Supergirl. So it's good on them to have a good release date for Supergirl. That's like a year and a half of actually from shooting the movie to releasing it. That's what happened with James Gunn's Superman to its release. So I don't know what's taking them so piss long for the Batman. I mean, seriously, they're gonna start shooting sometime this year. So a year and a half technically means the beginning of 2027. Yeah, but they're going to release it at the end of 2027? That's just pathetic. It really is. Anyway, Adam Grunther, I did watch Dune 2. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I loved the cinematography and the music and all the visuals, and I loved the idea of what the story was doing. I wasn't a huge fan of the characters. They didn't have as much personality to them, I don't think. So yeah, Adam Grunther has done a $2 super chat as well. Thank you very much for that, Adam. And he says, what do you want more, Spider-Verse 3 or Batman 2? Batman 2. The Batman Part 2, I'll say that over and over again. I want my Batman Part 2. I love Spider-Verse. You all know how much I do. But Batman and me, we go way back. That was the first movie I saw that really made me know and realize. I was like, oh, this is what movies are. And of course, I love, not only did I love Tim Burton's Batman growing up, it was the first superhero movie I saw. So I've got a lifelong attachment to Batman. I really do. It goes back to my childhood. So yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, release date is not so cool, I would say, with what they're doing there, I'd say. Okay, so, next story. Ooh, let me get rid of those here. There. Next story. Shrek 5. Speaking of delays, going from the Batman Part 2 being delayed, turns out Shrek 5 has also been delayed, which is a shame. Shrek 5, what is it with these movies that we really want to see being delayed by a lot? It really is bizarre. Anyway, Shrek 5 originally was going to be released on July the 1st, 2026, which I'll show you right here. This was the release date, July the 1st, 2026, but now the release date has been moved to December 23, 2026. So thankfully it's not a year-long delay like the Batman, but it is quite a delay still, I gotta say. And the annoying part is do you know... do you know why it's being delayed? Well, it's probably being delayed because they might need more time. I don't know. Maybe they want to release it during Christmas. They think they can get more money out of it that way. Especially if you look at Moana 2's box office and such. But the movie that they're swapping release dates with is Minions 3. So Minions is now going to be released on July the 1st, 2026, where Shrek 5 was going to be released. That is a shame. It really is. Because, again, Shrek is another movie that I wanted to see. I'm really looking forward to the 5th movie. And for them to do this, it's just not cool, guys. It ain't cool. I really want to see the movie. Hopefully the longer delay means they're making the movie better. That's what I hope. But yeah, it's another movie being delayed. Another movie that we really wanted to see. Honestly, do you know what? If I heard that just tomorrow that Marvel were going to delay Captain America Brave New World another year, I wouldn't care. But when it comes to the Batman Part 2 and Shrek 5, I do care. These are movies that I really want to see, and they're delaying them, man. Why do they have to delay them so much? It's like the good movies are just like further and further. They're taking longer and longer to release. And the kind of scary thing is that when the first Shrek movie came out, I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I remember watching it in the theater with my dad when I was 5 or 6. So to go from 5 or 6 to now being like 31, 32 when this movie comes out. I think I'll be, 32. No. I'll be 31 when the movie comes out. That's scary to think about. You know what I mean? That I started out being like such a little kid. And then I was probably about the size of one of these minions. And then to end up being as old as I am now, older, to go see the 5th movie. I'm surprised they only made 5 in that time. But yeah, I really am looking forward to another Shrek movie. I really am. It would be cool to see, I think. Big Bash says, I hope we see Shrek's kids as teenagers in Shrek 5. Well, we'll have to see. Crazy Cat Lady says, Goofy movie, someone pay for Eric. How much would that cost? You mean for me to review the Goofy movie? All of that is on my Patreon. I'll be 24 when Shrek comes out, says Saeed. Khan, I'm not going to answer that question because I will eventually be doing Shrek versus videos and I don't want to give any of that away. So, I'm sorry, bud, but I won't be able to tell you. Okay. Batman's Gamer says, why did Shrek 5 take forever? Well, because at first I think they weren't making it until Puss in Boots 2 came out. They wanted to see how Puss in Boots 2 did, and if that did well, then they would make a Shrek 5. And well, Puss in Boots 2 did very well, so they're going to make a Shrek 5. So that's why it's taken some time. But yeah. Glicked Guy says, something say about bad about Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Must Follow. Most of likely, Christmas Children Kid, No Theatre Cinema could have been the Not I Have Children BBC TV. Glicked Guy, you got to rephrase all of that because I did not catch any of that and I read it exactly as I saw it. Alright, so we got a super chat from Iron Warrior who has done a $2 super chat. Thank you, Iron Warrior. He says, didn't expect Venom to die when I watched Venom 3. Well, it's Sony. Is our characters really dead? They can bring them back if they want because he's the only one making money. Whereas, they're not making money with any of their other spin-offs, that's for sure. Let's see here. Have you seen Superman vs. the Elite, says Brandon. Yes, I did, years ago. Love that animated movie. Alright then. Anyone else got any questions in relation to this? Anyone disappointed? Do any of you care that Shrek got delayed, or do you just not care? The G-Gamer says, funny how Shrek 1 was released during the downward spiral of Disney and Puss in Boots 2 was released during the downward spiral of Disney in the 2020s. Yeah, it sure is. Batman's Gamer says, good times. It's too late to give Shrek 5. Andrew Edit says, Shrek 2 is the best Shrek movie. I love the first one personally. Yeah, Jess says Shrek 1 is his favourite as well. Shrek is my favourite. The Dark Lord says, not really a Shrek fan. Adam Grunther says $2 super chats, and he says, thank you, Adam Grunther, by the way, that's very generous of you, these super chats. He says, favorite Spider-Verse character in both films. My favorite Spider-Verse character is... That's a good question. The favorite Spider-Verse character in the first movie, I will gotta say, is Nicolas Cage. Spider-Man Noir, love Spider-Man Noir. They're all great characters, though. And favorite Spider-Verse character in the second film? I'm trying to think. There's a lot of those Spider-Man characters, wasn't there? Web-Slinger is my personal favorite. He wasn't in the movie much, but he was hilarious when he goes, on count of 3, draw 1. Oh, you didn't count to 3. I found that funny. My favorite one in that, though, I would say is probably... Was it Hoagie? Was that his name? Or Hobie? I haven't seen it in it quite a bit. But I also love Spider-Man 2099. But if I had to pick one... Okay, I'll say Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara. He was great. Hobie. Yeah, Hobie was great. I love all those characters. That's what I'm saying. I love all those characters. All this shit about Disney and Marvel and these other studios trying to like race bend existing characters or gender bend. I've always said create new characters, and Spider-Verse beautifully illustrates what benefits could come if you do create new characters. So I hope they continue to follow that line of thought going down the line. Electrify says, controversial thing about me, I have not seen Shrek 1. Does that mean you've seen the other Shreks, but just not the first one? But yeah, Shrek is a really good movie. Man, does that take me back to when I was a very little kid. It really does. And then it reminds me of how much time has passed. Insane. Shrek the Turd sucks. Yeah, the third movie did suck. It really did. Alright. Good Time says, should Shrek 5 have Puss in Boots 2 animation or keep its original animation? Keep its original animation. The whole point of Shrek is that everything is meant to look a little bit ugly, as is the key theme of the movie, or as the key character of the movie. Like the ogres, they make the animation look just a touch ugly, and it's the style that works for Shrek. Khan says, even though I'm a little disappointed by the release date, I'd rather have them perfect the movie than rush the movie. I agree. But I don't really think this is for perfecting the movie as much as this release change is just a marketing choice. I think they just think that they can make more money from it at Christmas than they can at the end of the summer. So I think that's why they delayed it. So that's why I kind of take issue with that. Alright then, so we've gone through those stories. Now it is time to go through the final story. Okay. Now James Gunn has said, if I can just, now James Gunn has talked about, not James Gunn, Matt Reeves was asked a question at the Golden Globes. They says that, have you ever they basically asked him a question as if it's possible that Robert Pattinson could join the DCU, and Matt Reeves didn't really give an answer, but he said one of the key things he says is that it has to make sense. And I think that Matt Reeves, he didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. But I do think, based on the rumors we heard at Warner Brothers, that David Zaslav and Warner Brothers wants Robert Pattinson's Batman to join James Gunn's world. I don't know if at the end Matt Reeves has a choice. If Warner Brothers say you're going to have to put them together, then they'll have to put them together. So I think that Matt Reeves is trying to do the best he can in making, his epic crime saga, his Batman universe, the way he wants to. But I feel like he will eventually get a bit of pressure from Warner Brothers to join his DC Batman with James Gunn's DCU. And I think it really comes down to how good the Superman movie is. If the Superman movie is good, then Matt Reeves will feel better, and he'll say, yes, okay, I do want to join the two characters. But the thing is, DC's got a bad history, especially when it comes to universe building. And I think Matt Reeves is thinking, what happens if... I've got a great universe right now. The Penguin show just did great. Now, what happens if we join in with another universe, and that universe just fails? What then? All of a sudden, Matt Reeves has got a working universe that is tainted because it's now a part of a broken universe. So I think that's why Matt Reeves is nervous about it. And quite frankly, I'm nervous about the exact same thing too. I would want it to be a very high quality universe, but as much as we say that it could be because James Gunn is talented, we don't truly know yet. You know, we still got to wait and see. So I think it's one of those situations where I can see both sides wanting it to join, because honestly, when I saw that Superman trailer, it does excite me to think, what if the two Batman and Superman cross over, because they are two polar opposites. And that's what's great about Batman and Superman, is they're very polar opposites, and that's what makes it great to put them together. And I think there's a lot of potential there, but it really depends on how good it is. Thing is, I think James Gunn is a bit too silly with his style, and I think he needs to pull back with that if he wants Batman to work in there, because Superman is not silly. I mean, all comic books are silly when you get down to it, but Superman's got an earnestness to it, and I feel like James Gunn doesn't have. He's got more of a funny bone in his body than an earnest bone, if you know what I mean. His goofiness or his lightheartedness comes more from the fact that something is goofy than from the fact that it's earnest in terms of how light it is. And I think that can probably be the undoing of James Gunn's Superman. So I hope he really fine-tunes that and perfects that. And if he does, I think that's what will be enough to make Matt Reeves say, you know what, I can see my Batman with your Superman. But James Gunn's style is too out there silly for what Matt Reeves does with his style. So we'll have to wait and see, I think. Iron Warrior has done a $2 donation. Thank you very much, buddy, for the $2 donation. He says, have you heard of a new Conjuring movie this year? I heard about it last year. It's called The Conjuring 4 Last Rites. It's going to be the final movie in the Conjuring universe. Or at least the final movie with the Warrens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, but unfortunately it's made by the same director that made the third movie, and the third movie was nothing special, I thought. I thought it was just okay. If it was done by James Wan, I'd be excited, but it's not done by James Wan, so therefore I am not excited. Big Bash says, I miss when Batman is not grounded. I like Fantastical Batman. Well, Fantastical Batman is exactly what you would have gotten if James Gunn is able to make his Batman, because he said he's going to do The Brave and the Bold, and he's going to have his own Batman. So then you will get Fantastical Batman. But if he does get Matt Reeves' Batman into his universe, then he's going to have to restructure things. He can't have Damian Wayne as his Robin. He's going to have, if they have a Robin, he's going to have to make sure that it's Dick Grayson. And on top of that, he's going to have to make sure that Matt Reeves is happy with expanding the Bat family, because we don't want to see that Bat family grow too much. So we can't have, the whole Bat family as James Gunn intends. That's going to have to take longer if that's going to be the case. It'll have to take longer to unfold. Adam Grunther says, God, I don't want Barry Keoghan Joker in the DCU. I think we need to give him another shot. I think Matt Reeves must have heard about people's reactions to the Joker, his Joker. So I'm sure he's going to have to make, take precautions and stuff. Plus, it was a deleted scene, so it wasn't a scene that he thought was worthy of being in the movie. So I'm sure if he made scenes for him that were worthy of being in the movie, he would do better, is what I think. Ultimately. Dead Wolf says, I much prefer to get a different actor for James Gunn's universe. Yeah, there's a lot of people having differing opinions. People feel strongly about, bringing him into the universe, and they feel strongly about keeping him out of the universe, Matt Reeves' Batman. For me, I've always been, staunchly, I've been, keep him out. Do not put him in. Now I'm more in the middle. Either way it happens, I will not be unhappy about it. I will be unhappy if Matt Reeves loses control of Batman. I feel like he should be monitoring Batman all the way through. If he is in the DCU or pulled into the DCU, Matt Reeves must be the one that has final say over how they execute him. That's what I think. So, yeah, it really does depend, but I'm really hoping that they do a great job with Matt Reeves' Batman continuing. I hope they do a great job. We got a Clayface movie coming out next year, so at least we got that, which is apparently meant to be like a tragic horror movie, kind of like The Fly. The Fly is a great horror movie, very tragic. If they could do that with Clayface, boy, would that be special. And I think the budget of that Clayface movie is only like $40 million or something, so they're going to have to use a lot of practical effects. I wonder how they'll do the more comic book fantastical effects. We'll have to see. With $40 million, they got to utilize their budget very well. I hope they get a good horror director to do it as well. I really do. Khan, I would disagree with you there. You said that I agree, Big Bash, when he goes, I miss when Batman's grounded, not fantastical. You said I agree, but the Batman universe isn't really the best when it comes to being fantastical, or at least we haven't seen how fantastically can be. If you look at any of the the video games, the Arkham games, or the animated series, or the animated movies, there are a lot of Batmans that have dealt with the fantastical element, and the movies have done. And if you just translate that to the movies, you can do it so well, but you need good writing. The only fantastical Batmans that we've had are Tim Burton's with Michael Keaton. We had fantastical Batmans with Joel Schumacher's two movies, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. And then we had Zack Snyder's Batman vs Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And except for his Justice League movie, Batman vs Superman, the fantastical I wouldn't say was that great in there, but at the same time it wasn't bad. You just needed a good movie around it. So if you have a good movie around it, it can work, but you need a good script, and that's something that these newer fantastical Batmans have not had, dating all the way back to Batman Forever. Jess has donated $5. Thank you, you guys. You really are being very generous with your donations today, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Jess says, "Hey Eric, did you hear about the LA wildfires? Willem Dafoe should be the DCU Joker. If Matt Reeves' Batman is in the DCU, Brave and the Bold it should be cancelled." Okay, I'll do the wildfire question last. Willem Dafoe should be the DCU Joker. I would like to see him as a Joker, but I don't know if I want to see him as the DCU Joker. I wonder if it will be too obvious that we're getting the Green Goblin playing Joker, but who knows? I'm open to the idea. But I think that will be playing it too old of a Joker. But we'll have to see what his Batman is. That's all I can say at this point. We got to see what James Gunn's Batman is like before we can judge what his Joker should be. And let's see the other part of your question. If Matt Reeves' Batman in the DCU, Brave and the Bold is cancelled. Yes, if Matt Reeves' Batman does come to the DCU, then they will have to reevaluate everything and all of their plans with Batman. So that means we don't get the Brave and the Bold, we don't get Damian Wayne, we don't get the Bat Family, and they're gonna have to stop. They're gonna have to base their Batman on Matt Reeves' plans because they're not gonna be going forward with James Gunn's at that point. Because we're seeing Matt Reeves' Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman, is meant to be younger Batman, early days Batman. So for him to just jump and skip all the way to having multiple Robins and a Nightwing and a Bat Family, that's not gonna work. So yeah, then they would have to restructure everything. Adam Grunther says, "Love Dafoe, but the man is in his 70s, and now you deleted that comment, I can't read it." Yeah, but basically he is quite old for it. It would be fun from a fan perspective to see him do the Joker, but he is very old, and we gotta see. I think it can possibly work with an older Batman, but we don't know how much older James Gunn is going, so we'll have to see. Hunter says, "My only problem with the Clayface movie is how he was used in Creature Commandos. He was really comical, which is not what I want to see in a horror film." That's the thing. I didn't even know Clayface was in Creature Commandos until you just said it. But we'll have to see. Let's hope they do it good. I hope they do it good. Because I don't want him to be bloody comedic. I don't like what Clayface has turned into. In fact, I hate it, what he's turned into. Is it the Harley Quinn show? Where they turn him into a comedy, and now that's what he's become. He's become this joke. Clayface is a very tragic character. If you watch Clayface in Batman the Animated Series and the Batman show, the 2004 Batman show, Clayface is a very tragic character, and for them to turn him into a joke, I think is just wrong. It is a completely wrong take, and is exactly what I fear about James Gunn taking over DC. So he better not turn him into a joke. I will not accept that. Adam Grunther says, "My mistake, he's 69, Willem Dafoe. Still, he's too old. Joker should be no older than 50 in my opinion." Yeah. That said, Willem Dafoe doesn't look like he's 69. He looks like he is about mid-50s, late 50s. What am I talking? But he doesn't look like he's 69, though. Oh yeah, sorry, Jess, about the wildfires. Yeah, it's a shame. It is. But you know what was interesting? It's interesting that's happening to a lot of the rich places in LA. So it's like the rich people that have to go through that kind of thing. Given what's going on in Gaza right now and how they're staying quiet about that or how they're supporting that, especially if you hear what James Wood said when he said hashtag kill them all. Like he said there's no grey area, he doesn't care, kill all of them. He called them savages or something. He called them a word. It was disgusting. And then he was crying about his house. It's like, what about their houses being destroyed, their camps being destroyed, their hospitals being destroyed? What about What about them? What about them when they see their babies or their children or their wives, husbands, all them getting killed right in front of them? Forget about the house being destroyed, which is already really tragic and hard, but then the deaths of the loved ones. And for him to say what he said and then to start crying over his house when his gets destroyed, honestly, to me, that felt like karma or God willing, whoever whatever your belief system is. It felt like that was almost like, be careful of what you say. And it felt like he got, if you believe in spirituality, if you believe in God, that seemed almost quite telling. But yes, it is tragic. It is. I'm not going to say it's not. That being said, I do not. It's just the timing of this is very interesting. How you're getting a lot of these celebrities saying a lot of these nasty things like "let them die, let them burn," and then their houses burn. You know what I mean? I feel for the ones that are not in that camp, and of course I'm glad no one died. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm 100% sorry for them. That's the way to put it. Seeing as how heartless they are about the situation on others, all of a sudden now we're supposed to care about. I gotta word this better because I know I'm not wording it the best. But I'll just say I need to prepare my answer before I say it. But yes, it is a tragedy. But at the same time, my worries are not really with them. I've got worries elsewhere. We know they're a rich area. They're gonna get sorted. They're gonna get taken care of. So long as no one's hurt. These rich Hollywood actors, they can live in hotels or whatever. They've probably got up more than one home they can live in, most definitely. So they're all right. It's just, I've got, as far as my list of priorities go, I know where my worries really are. The people that have no chance at all. Here, they really have a chance to rebuild. It's very easy to do so. Just stay away from it, then rebuild. But I do feel sorry for the ones that are not so fortunate, that are not the rich actors in that regard. Let's see. Adam Grundy says, let's not. This isn't a competition on sympathy. My friend lost their home in LA. Please let's move on from this. Not right for this stream. Like I said, I need to think about my answer more. So if it comes out wrong, I apologize. You have to... with something like this, it is a delicate situation, so you got to phrase it correctly. But yes, I do feel bad for a lot of the people that have gone through that kind of stuff. Let's just leave it at that. Now, let's see here. Also, I've not read all the articles about it, so if I'm missing something, be sure to let me know as well. Now, it said someone asked a question. Let me find where it is. Arturo has become a member. Wow, thanks, buddy. We'll put your name on the stream in a second. So hold on, we're gonna go to the Q&A in a bit. G Gamer says, to be fair, for the rich people's homes, I'm 99% sure they can afford the millions of dollars in repairs, but still, that is tragic. Okay, where is that question? Oh, there we go. Time Shadow, who did a Streamlabs chat of £1. Thank you very much, Time Shadow. He says, I don't think Willem Dafoe as the Joker is a good idea. I'm sure he'd put in a great performance, but I just think he's been too overly fan-casted to the point where it feels too much like they're doing it for the sake of it rather than anything else. I do agree with that too. Willem Dafoe has been fan-cast as the Joker for so long. I think since the first Joker with Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, since that was in production, I think is when people are fan-casting him. So... yeah, I do agree with you. He does seem very fan-casty now. But I am still partly curious to see what he could do. I am genuinely curious with that. Just got to your other question, Adam, where it says, please let's not talk about this. This isn't right for the stream. Don't worry, I'm not talking anymore. And I apologize if I said anything that might not be... because like I said, I've not read all the information about it. So I should make that clear. So I've not read all the information about that. Anyway, creator edits. I'm editing that right now. I'm working on the best movies of 2024, and then I'm gonna go on to the worst movies of 2024. You guys always know that it's usually I make those lists in like the first month of January, so that's what I always do with those lists, and the same as here. So I'm still on schedule, basically. Adam Grunther, are you still here, by the way? Just curious. Big Bash says, how many videos are you editing, Eric? That's a good question, bud. I'm editing a lot of videos. I'm editing the Moana 1 vs 2 versus video, the Puss in Boots 1 vs 2 versus video. I haven't worked on Sonic 2 vs 3 yet. I've written notes, but I'm going to get to that as soon as I've done my best and worst movies. I'm also going to be doing, my worst of movies list, my best of I'm still working on. Quite a lot of videos, and I've also got some Patreon videos I'm doing as well. So, a lot of videos, that is. So yeah, I got a lot of work that needs doing. Oh, looks like Adam Grunther has left the chat. Okay. Khan, how does 2025 started off really bad? Oh, Adam Grunther still is in. That's good. I almost thought I scared you away there, Adam. I didn't mean to. That was I just didn't mean to. But like I said, I've not read everything, so I don't know what the casualties are. All I know is that some of the richer celebrities' houses got burned down. That's all I heard, so I don't know. Forgive me if there's anything else I missed. Because I don't know. So, that should have been a disclaimer I gave at the beginning. Anyway, Adam says, any celeb you met you had a great experience with. I've not met a celebrity. Oh, have I met one? No, I've never met one. I wish I have. I wish I could say I have had a celebrity experience, but I've not. I've come across people that I've met a celebrity. There was this one girl I worked with at one of my jobs when I was younger. She showed me a picture where she was standing next to Shah Rukh Khan, who she's a fan of, and then she's just casually going through the photos, and then she's standing next to Benedict Cumberbatch, and I'm like, you stood next to Benedict Cumberbatch? I said, when did this happen? And she goes, oh yeah, and she's been acting so nonchalant about it. And this is when Sherlock Holmes was at his peak, when Benedict Cumberbatch was in the first couple of years of his popularity. And then she says, oh yeah, my sister's a big fan of him. I just took a picture of him because we were there. I was like, seriously, this is Benedict Cumberbatch? And you're like, yeah, no biggie. So I've come across other people that have come across celebrities, but I never have. Adam Grunther says, Andy Serkis and Tim Curry are really great ones for me. Oh, cool. Filmmaker Steven says, I met Richard Dreyfuss on June 8th of last year. He talked too much, but he was still a great guy. Isn't Richard Dreyfuss the one that had, was it him? He's the Jaws actor. Was he the one, if I'm thinking of it right, was he the one that was yelling at someone, a crew member once? There was a story that came out about that. That'll be interesting. Adam Grunther says, I talk to Kimiko Glenn once a month. She's absolutely awesome. Oh, cool. I don't know who that is. Let me just double check. Maybe it'll come to me. Okay, let me go here. I think now we're at the Q&A, so let's just go to the Q&A. And I got a couple of announcements to make here, which I'll do. Oh, from Orange is the New Black actress. Okay. Oh, well, lucky that you actually get to meet celebrities. I've not had a single encounter yet. Anyway, okay, let's see. Where are my notes gone? Oh, here they are. Arturo, he's become a YouTube member and is doing super chats all at once. Thanks, buddy. Thanks to all of you for the support, seriously. Okay, so that's a $5 super chat. And he says, did you watch Sonic 3? I just saw the movie a couple days ago and I thought it was great. Heck, I'd even say that it's the best one in the trilogy. I have seen Sonic 3, and I really enjoyed it. I got videos, I'm writing my versus videos, basically, so then you'll hear me cover it. Adam says, she's also Penny Parker from Spider-Verse. Oh, right. I talk to her once a month through her Patreon. She's beyond nice. Oh, cool. Is it through video chat, or is it through comments? How is it? Have you watched The Wild Robot and Dune 2 yet? I can't wait to see your best movies list. Oh, yes, video chat. Oh, that's cool, Adam. Really cool. Okay, so time to do some a bit of housekeeping here. First of all, I'm going to be revealing a very familiar name right here, where it says new YouTube and Patreon members. Keep looking at this text right here. Keep looking at it. Keep looking at it. You'll see we got the G Gamer right there again, and you can see him looking smug in the chat right now with that face. He knows what's going on here. Alright, so let me bring this here. Now, this might not be the right one, but it's the only poster I've got, and you'll all know what I mean. So, the G Gamer, you all know, commissioned a quick movie review on my Patreon of Megamind 2. Now, I don't think this is Megamind 2. I think this was the show poster, but it's the only poster I've got, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Jissy, I'm going to be working on it right now, and the video will be out in the next day or two, so it'll be very quick now, so don't worry. I'm already editing it and working on it. So yeah. You all know that G Gamer has commissioned a quick movie review for Megamind 2, and Jake just entered the chat. Hi, Jake. And the Dark Lord's like, my bloody eyes. Oh, you guys crack me up. Anyway, the G Gamer asked for a quick movie review, and I've said to him I'm going to. It's on my list, and I'm going to do a quick movie review of it. And I also suggested to him, I says, you know, if you want me to record my reaction, my entire reaction to watching this movie, I could if you want. And, you know, it requires another commission, but I gave him a discount because I haven't gone forward with it yet. And plus, he already did a quick movie review. I thought, reducing the price for this particular perk, which would have cost a heck of a lot more, I'd be willing to do that for someone who's already commissioned a review. And well, he said yes. And as a result, I am going to be recording my entire reaction to watching Megamind 2, and it will be going up on my Patreon and YouTube memberships for all of you to see. So if you've gone on Patreon and seen my reaction to Creature Commandos episode 1, I'm going to do a reaction to the rest of the Creature Commandos episodes as well as I watch them. I'm going to basically do this reaction in the exact same way. So yeah, if you guys want to see it, be sure to head on over to Patreon and you'll see my entire reaction to watching Megamind 2. And I have a feeling I'm just going to be raising my nose at it and reacting to how bad it is every second of the way. That's going to be kind of freaky, that is. I'm not going to lie. Oh, Khan said it best. From Megamind to Nevermind. That is true. Yeah. And where is the name gone? Where is it gone? Aha, there you are. So yeah, that's the first announcement, is that you're going to get an entire Let's Watch of that on my Patreon, where you'll see me watching the movie for the first time, and you'll be seeing me react to it. So that's basically the first thing that is going to happen. So that's the first announcement. And now the second announcement is this. Arturo Sandoval Saito, I hope I pronounced that right, has become a new member on my YouTube channel. As you can see, he became a member. It popped up on the screen when he became a member. And he's going to be he's a new member, so he's going to get early access to Versus videos, and will also get to watch my Let's Watch videos that are specific for Patreon. So I've already done a specific Let's Watch. I did Moana, the entire Let's Watch of Moana, on my YouTube channel. It's on there for you guys to see if you want to. And yeah, I've also got Creature Commandos coming, and I've got plenty more coming. So, Arturo, you're going to benefit from becoming a YouTube member, and I really hope you enjoy the content. So, yeah, Arturo says, good luck, man. You need it. Here's the dehydration gun. Yeah. I really hope it's... I'm nervous to watch that movie. It was nervous to watch it on my own, but now to watch it with the camera on me, that's going to be something else. Big Bash says, I just finished season 1 of the TMNT, 2003 TMNT, and it was fantastic. Look forward to watching season 2. I hope you do. The show became bad when it started to become Turtles Fast Forward, when they brought a teenage kid in there. That's when you could stop watching. When I was a kid, I stopped watching then, and I think that's when the show went downhill. What did... G-Gamer just commented something and I didn't see it. He just deleted it. Ooh, I don't know what you said there, buddy. I hope you'll let me know. Let's see. Gary Loke says, thoughts on Skeleton Crew? I've only seen the first episode and I wasn't too fond of it, but I will try to watch the rest at some point. Goat says, Eric, I met a footballer. Does that count as a celebrity? If he's a famous person, then yeah, I guess it does. Adam Grunther, I saw TMNT 2012, the first couple of seasons, and then I stopped when I was younger. The G-Gamer says, I feel like I'm sitting on a chair like a villain commissioning this for you to watch and react. Yeah, and you're using your... It's almost like you're using your wealth not for good, like how Batman does, but you're almost using it for evil. But that being said, we make jokes and all that stuff, but you really did help support the channel in a huge way, G-Gamer, so I'm never going to forget that. Thank you very much for that. Ugh, Deadwolf says, Megamind 3, Return of Titan. Adam Grunther says, TMNT 2012 has to have the saddest ending in any TMNT show. It's genuinely heartbreaking. Yeah, I think I might have heard about what that one was a while back. That ending. So yeah, it sounds like it would be sad as well. Yeah. Yeah, Megamind 2 rivals Sony. By the way, this is the show, isn't it? Megamind rules. This is the TV show, isn't it? Isn't the second movie supposed to be Megamind versus some kind of crew, essentially? I've not seen Arcane Season 2 yet, Factory of Divisive Opinions. Creator Edit says yes, that is the TV show. The Doom Syndicate, that was it. Sounds like a very DC title, doesn't it? Like the Legion of Doom, the Doom Syndicate. Yep, it's the show. The poster for the movie looks way worse. Yeah, that's funny, Arturo. Electrify says, by the way, I saw Fast 5 and the fight between Dom and Hobbs was great and fun to watch. What are your thoughts on the battle if you saw the movie? I saw the movie Fast 5 years ago. I love it. That's my favourite one of all of them. That and 7 are my two favourite ones, but I think 5 was really good. Khan says, Megamind 3, The Destruction of DreamWorks. How would you feel about the Legion of Doom being the big bad of the DCU, says Adam Grunther? I think it can be cool, but they are villains from, I think, different heroes, so they got to set them all up and establish them correctly, then they can bring them together. At the same time, I feel like superhero teams, or just teams in comic book movies in general, are being overdone, especially in DC right now. We have the Suicide Squad, we got the Peacemaker Squad, we got the Creature Commandos, and then if you have the Legion of Doom, it's like, dude, how many teams have we got here? It seems like we've already got a team as well, by the way, in... Oh, take care, Jake. Thank you for joining the stream. It seems like we've already... It seems like we've already got... What was I saying? What was I saying? I just lost it. Darn it. But yeah, basically, I hope they don't do too much teams. I feel like... Oh yeah, I was going to say this. I said in the Superman movie, it looks like we got another team of heroes. We've got Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner as Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific. I don't know if there's other heroes in there, but I feel like there's too many teams already, and we're just starting. So I hope they don't make so much teams. Adam Grunther says, I won't give anything away, but Creature Commandos does give a hint on who the big bad of the DCU might end up being. I think the big bad of the DCU might be from Justice League The Final Frontier. If you've seen the animated movie of the Justice League The Final Frontier, there's this big alien-like creature in there, and I think that will be the villain that James Gunn is going to make the main threat, is what I think. Because he said he took inspiration from stuff like that, so I think it will be that. Creator edits will be the best movies of 2024 will be my next video. G Gamer says, I remember when you compared Megamind 2 to Moana 2 in your Moana 2 video, and I was like, no, Megamind 2 isn't even good for streaming. Well, we'll see when I see it. Gary Loke says, I thought Sonic 3 would have higher numbers now that it has released internationally, and it only has 384 million worldwide. That's nothing to turn your nose at, but yeah, you would think it would go higher, wouldn't you? Yeah. I cannot believe they got away with showing Hitler in the Season 1 finale of Justice League animated series. I can't even remember that. It's been such a long time. Thoughts on Matt Flanagan being director of horror Clayface movie? Brandon, I'm sorry to say Mike Flanagan is not directing it. He should, but he's going to be directing another movie. He's directing The Exorcist, so he's written the script, but they're going to find another director, and I hope they find a good director as well. Adam says, how would you feel about Jim Carrey not being in Sonic 4? I wouldn't like it. He has to be in Sonic 4. But hey, they killed him at the end of the second movie, and then he came back for the third film, so who knows? I feel like at that point, they can bring him back no matter what at this point now. Did the DC animated universe push the PG rating? At times they did, especially when all these tentacles went inside Martian Manhunter in the first 4 episodes. I think it was the 4th episode of the 4. They were sticking these tentacles inside his face and in his skin, and it was torturing him. I was like, that was insane. The G-Gamer says, look what I commissioned on top of Megamind 2. Yeah, you also did the Let's Watch on Megamind 2 as well. Oh yeah, Creator Edit says, I like how the poster for Megamind Rules is still there. Yeah, let me fix that. I think the message that I was going to say has been done, so we don't need that there no more. Adam Grunther says, what was your favourite joke in Sonic 3? My favourite joke in Sonic 3? It's when Shadow was watching that trashy soap opera on TV, and he says, that girl, that woman's name, I think it was a Latino name, I can't remember, Gabriella, I think. And let's just say the boyfriend was Tommy. He goes, Gabriella should destroy Tommy. You know, the way he says that was funny. I thought that made me laugh a lot, that did. That did make me laugh. That was very funny. That was one of my favourite stuff. There was also a scene where they tried to make it kind of horror-like, where Shadow was picking off the characters one at a time, and Knuckles screamed when he was like, I'm not scared and all that, and then he screamed when he saw Shadow. That was also funny. There were a lot of funny jokes in there, a lot of them. Kevin says, did you get my $5 super chat? You gave me a super chat earlier. If you mean right now, I didn't get it right now, but I got one earlier from you. Let me go back and see. Yeah, $5 about an hour ago you did that. I don't know if you did another one. The Dark Lord says, oh, thank God that thing is off your screen. Oh, Jess says, Eric, that guy in the soap opera was the bartender in Venom 3 and No Way Home. That's funny. I didn't know that. Adam Grunther says, my favourite joke is when Robotnik pulls away the laser from the Earth and says, I did it, only for it to hit the moon, and he says to Knuckles and Tails, look what you did. Yeah, that was funny as well. That is such a Jim Carrey joke as well, that was. Khan says, Eric, why do you turn off the comments on your Home Alone versus Home Sweet Home Alone? I've not turned the comments off on that. I don't know why YouTube does that. My It's Versus video, the comments have been turned off on that before as well. Give me a second, let me sort that out. Let me see. I don't like when YouTube does this. I think it does have a negative impact on the video. So it annoys me. Yep, they've been turned off. Thank you, buddy, for letting me know. Guys, if this happens anytime, let me know, okay? Let me sort it out. I don't know what, buddy, I don't know why it happens. It just happens. YouTube does it. It annoys the heck out of me. They did it to a new video I uploaded once, and it wasn't getting any... It kept turning the comments off for a while. Where is the turn off comments? They keep moving this stuff around. Where is the comments? Oh, here we go. Comments are off. They should always be on. There we go. It should be sorted out. Guys, if that happens ever again in any other of my Versus videos, please do let me know so I can fix it, because that should not be happening. Okay? Kevin says, I did another $5 donation now, but I can't see it. Has it come out of your account? Because it shouldn't come out of your account. If you're doing the super chat through YouTube, usually if I don't receive it, it's not come out of your account. That's how it's been in the past from people that have donated. If it's not working through super chat, try through Streamlabs. Thank you, Khan. I appreciate that if you guys try your best to let me know. Let's see. Big Bash says, I finished season 1 of Teen Titans and it has aged amazingly, and Slade is so good. Ron Perlman is such a good voice actor. Yeah, he is a phenomenal voice actor. For me, that's his best role. It really is. Kevin, Streamlabs, I've pinned a link in the chat, and I've put a link in the description. So if you want to find Streamlabs, click there and you'll find it. And that should work. If it doesn't, then it's got to be something from your end, because both of these, these should work at that. Okay. Yeah, sure, Electrify. If you want to talk spoilers for Sonic 3, go right ahead. Everyone should have seen it by now. Adam Grunther says, do you see Wicked? No, I didn't see Wicked, but now that my sister has come to visit, she wants to see it, so who knows, maybe I will. I'm not into musicals, I'm really not. I like certain musicals, like the classic ones, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or some of the Disney musicals and stuff, but I'm not really into, like, Oliver as a musical, for example. And I don't know how much of a musical this is, but it kind of puts me off. Adam Grunther says, by the way, did you ever end up watching Barbie? I didn't. By the time I could watch it, I think the phase just kind of went over, and I was like, you know what, there's other stuff I want to watch. This doesn't look like my thing. You know how I don't like not just feminism, but any message when it's hammered over the head, and this looked like one of those to me. So I was like, if everyone else likes what this is, that is fantastic, especially because they put it in the right movie to do it. So that was very smart. But it didn't seem like it was for me. Maybe if it just, I was going to say, if it just comes on one day, I'll watch it. But we don't have that. We don't do TV like that no more. The viewing habits have changed, haven't they? So I don't know. We'll see if I see it at some point. But it's not on top of my list, personally. The G Gamer says, don't worry. Later this year, I'll try to find another infamously awful movie you're going to try to avoid. Jess said, Eric, I cried when Maria died because her and Shadow had great chemistry. It was very good how they did it. It was really good how they did that. Like, yeah, they did a very good job when it came to all that emotion. Phenomenal job. But I do wish they could have pushed it more, though. Even for as far as PG ratings go, they could have pushed it more. Creator Edit says, have you seen Transformers 1? I saw Transformers 1 about 2-3 days ago, so that's all I'll say. The scene where The Dark Lord says, stop spoiling Sonic 3, people. Dark Lord, have you still not seen the movie? It's been how many weeks now? 3, 4 weeks since it came out? Good Time says, I feel like Sonic 4 will be somewhat similar to Terminator. Robot sent to kill main character, while hero from future also sent to protect the main hero. Possibly. The G Gamer says, oh, did you do a live reaction to Transformers 1? I might have. No time. Adam Grunther says, I was kind of shocked how dark the original Shadow backstory was when I looked it up. Like Gerald Robotnik dies by firing squad. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I know, right? It's insane. Got the Time Shadow, who has done a £1 donation. He says, did you hear that Margot Robbie told her director to add in a kiss scene with Brad Pitt? Yeah, she says that because there will be no other chance she would get. And yeah, I agree with what a lot of people say. Imagine if the roles were reversed. It would not go down well, guys. It really wouldn't. So yeah, that was not a good thing that they did. To try to... It was not a good thing that she did, but hey, what the hell ever at this point. It's like, these are the crazy Hollywood types, and they are very hypocritical. There's no other way to say it. It is just hypocritical. Thoughts on the mid-credit scene in Sonic 3? $2. Sorry. $2 donation from Electrify, and he asks, what is my thoughts on the mid-credit scene in Sonic 3? I thought it was really good. I liked the mid-credit scene. I was happy when I saw it, and I was like, cool. Just to be clear, let me think. What was the first? There was 2 credit scenes. There was 1 credit scene, and there was a credit scene in the end. The mid-credit scene was good. I liked it, but I really liked the second credit scene. It was what you expect, but I liked to see it. The foot, if you know what I mean. I like how Adam Grunther is like, wait a minute, you saw Transformers 1? Yes, I did, buddy. I saw Transformers 1. What did you think of Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron? I hated that casting originally. Do you know when I saw the trailer? I hated that casting because Brian Tyree Henry, he sounds like a very cool guy. Like, he's just really cool. And Megatron don't sound like that. It's just like, I never would have thought. But in the movie, it was very distracting. I did not like that voice. I was like, this is just weird, dude. It really is. But as the movie goes on, his voice changes. And especially when he makes his full turn, his voice changed and went a lot better. So he got really good as it went on. He really did. Really good. But I will say, as much as I loved his voice acting later on, a part of me did always think, what happens if they got someone else? I still do think they could have got someone else. Chris Hemsworth also did a good job, but I had the same feeling with him. Especially when his voice changes, I thought he got better. But at the beginning, his voice sounded too much like Chris Hemsworth, to the point that it was kind of distracting. When he tries to be Chris Hemsworth, I've heard him use that voice a lot, so it was just... The voice acting stood out to me. Even Scarlett Johansson's voice, she wasn't changing her voice at all. So I found that weird too. I liked it when Chris Hemsworth was changing his voice as Optimus, but he would change it, then switch back to his normal voice. When he changed it, I liked it better. I did. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff in that movie. And it did do the whole turn on brothers, the whole brotherly betrayal, far better than Mufasa did. Now I know what all you guys were talking about when you said that Mufasa didn't do it anywhere near as good as what Transformers 1 did. Did it far better. Adam, I actually haven't thought of that. I need to give that more time before I give an answer to it. But I would say that Transformers 1, out of the Michael Bay movies, not a tough bar to beat. It ranks very high up there. The G-Gamer says, I won't spoil it, but there was something in the post-credit scene of Sonic 3, and I made a character joke about Awkwafina, and my sibling said, no. Yeah, you watch yourself. I'm like your siblings. I'm like, don't put that thought in my head. I wasn't thinking about it at all until you said it. No Awkwafina. I like that we're not seeing Awkwafina very much, and I hope we can get less of Keegan-Michael Key. I don't want to talk about Keegan-Michael Key. I can't stand him. And yes, he was in Transformers 1, and yes, that is why I'm saying I can't stand him. Because I just saw him, I just heard his performance a couple days ago. Goat says, you kind of look like Namor. I don't look anything like Namor. I want Tara Strong to voice Amy in Sonic 3. Yeah, she could be a good voice. Gary Loke says, a plot hole I noticed in Mufasa is that if Mufasa has super smell that can smell from miles away, how come in The Lion King he didn't sense Simba was in danger in the stampede just before Scar told him? Well, that's because I think it's when Zazu said, look, sire, the herd is on the move. And he's like, odd. It's like he just noticed it. I don't think he had time to smell it. But that is still a good point. I do get it. It was just a stupid prequel. It really was. It didn't really need... It didn't need it, really, I don't think. That prequel was like adding stuff that this franchise didn't need, if I'm being honest with you. Alison Brie as Amy needs to be put in the universe, said Adam Grunt, though. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I wish I bought some water or some drink to have while I'm chatting with you guys. You know what, guys? Stay right there. I'm going to quickly go get a drink. I've been doing so much talking. My throat is dry and so is my tongue. I feel like a desert in my mouth I have right now. So give me a second, I'll be right back, alright? It's alright, I'm right here. Oh, wow. 4:30 a.m. for me, says Good Times. Damn, that's later than it is for me. It's 2:30 a.m. in the morning here for me. Big Bash says, stay hydrated, Eric. Yeah, I'm working on that. Saeed says he's back. Well, I just came back too, bud. Creator Edits says, do you have any hope for Avengers Doomsday? Yeah, I do have hope for it. I'm sure the Russo brothers will make a good, fun movie, but I don't know. You're supposed to end on two Avengers movies to kind of like... You're supposed to have a very good run, then end on two Avengers movies. But when you have a very bad run, and then you end on two Avengers movies, it's just not as rewarding or as good as it should be, if I'm being quite honest with you. Saeed says, please, in the next stream, normal time. Don't worry, I will. I will. Good Time says, couldn't miss a stream by you. Already missed one, and this is the first 2025 stream, so can't miss this one. Well, thanks, buddy. That means a lot. Don't worry for anyone who's thinking it's quite late, because in 20 minutes I'm going to end the stream, so get your questions in there. And again, thanks to these two, G-Gamer and Arturo. Arturo is what Joker called Artie in Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Big Bash says, Eric, do you see the trailer for that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show? They made Norman Osborn and Harry black. I haven't seen the whole trailer, but I've seen bits of it. And yeah, they have. Honestly, the design for Norman Osborn still looks pretty good, so him being black, it doesn't feel like they've changed him too much. I haven't heard his voice, so maybe the voice is noticeable. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste my efforts on that. I think Disney's Spider-Man shows have been pretty bad. They need to go back to making spectacular Spider-Man, but because they've been making these shows quite bad, I don't really care about the race change because I'm not going to be watching the show. And these shows already are pretty low in terms of quality, so it doesn't make too much of a difference, honestly, if they do it with this particular project. But yeah, Saeed said it best. I'm tired of all these race swappings, and yeah, I'm tired of them too. Gamersaur says, hey brave Captain Eric, what are your thoughts on Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime? I liked him. I thought he was really good, although I pegged him right at the start. Maybe it's because I saw the Transformers 3 movie, but I pegged him right at the beginning. Jess, I didn't even know that was happening. That's a lot of American politics, so you'll pay attention to some of it, but there'll be a lot that you also don't pay attention to. Goat says, I don't have anything against race swaps, but why are they doing this? They're doing it because they want to put on this facade that they're good people, but they're not. They're from Hollywood, and all these people from Hollywood are full of shit. They don't believe any of this stuff, but they try to convince people to say that they do. When they're trying to say that they're good people, but we all know they're not. We know they're not good people, they're delusional people, and when it comes to topics where they should be putting their support, they don't, or they stop other actors and people in the industry from placing support in good causes. Or when causes that need, support, they say, no, you better not talk about it, or you'll get fired. That's not good. This is very clearly a corrupt corporation, but they try to convince themselves that they're good by saying, but look, we cast a black person here. Yeah, so if you're doing it just for the image, which Hollywood is, it's basically one big PR spin that they're doing with all these race changes and just all this stuff where they talk about politics and everything whenever they win an Oscar and they talk about politics. It's all just to give themselves a pat on the back. It's why when Ricky Gervais told them, you are in no position to lecture the public about anything, that was great. Everyone responded to that because, yeah, these are just celebrities that are just smelling their own farts, essentially. So yeah, no one should listen to any of them. And also, people are getting really pissed off at celebrities these days. So yeah, the whole age of celebrity is dying. People are getting really sick of them. That's interesting. Brandon says Sentinel Prime and Transformers 1 was a PG Homelander. He kind of was, actually, the more I think about it. Yeah, he kind of was a PG Homelander. Taking away all the violence, but he really answered to Sentinel answered to someone here, whereas Homelander answers to no one. Keanu Reeves is my favorite celebrity, Eric, and he's nice. Yeah, he does seem nice, but I don't know, celebrities, if any of them seem nice to you, that's fine, they can seem nice, but don't elevate them onto a higher pedestal, because then when they do something wrong, people are just heartbroken, and I've never looked at a celebrity in that way, so when they're heartbroken, I'm like, yeah, but why did you give them that much praise in the first place? You can't have that kind of praise in celebrities, usually. Let's see, $5 from Adam Grunther. Thank you very much, Adam, for the super chat. He says, what did you think of the scene in The Boys Season 4 where Homelander gets revenge on the scientist from his childhood? That was intense. That was so intense. I remember I was kind of afraid watching it. You're afraid for everyone when he says to one guy, "Go in that room." And then whenever he says, "Do you remember when I was a kid?" It's like you're like, "Oh shit, like what did this person do?" And then that one guy where he tells him to basically, jerk off. And if you don't, I'm gonna laser your balls. So it's like I was like, shit. And I like how everyone in the room wasn't able to laugh or anything. They were all scared. I'm just kind of disappointed that it ended. I could have taken more of that. That was fun. That was dark, intense, but really fun. Adam says, hands down, the scariest Homelander scene for me. It really was. It was freaky. And I remember one person asked me, like, which of these two deaths would you have? And I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't have any of them. They're all terrible ways to die. So I was like, no. Uh, I did think, like I said, I did not like season 4 very much. Season 4 was felt like it was just a load of padding. It feels like they were going to end with 4 seasons, but then Amazon told them to see if you can go on for an extra season, and then they had to basically pad this one out. That's what it felt like to me. Just a bunch of padding. Kessler. Who is Kessler? Oh. I thought he was a good character. Interesting. Especially when you find out more about that character. I was like, oh wow, didn't see that coming. But I guess it makes sense. I thought that was cool. Trevor, I've not seen Iron Claw, so I can't really provide any opinions on it. 75,000 sub special. Top 10 favorite movies of all time. I haven't got a top 10 favorite of all time. I only know the first couple. I've got, you guys know The Dark Knight is my favorite movie, and then it's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'd say 12 Angry Men is up there. The Matrix is up there. Equilibrium is up there. Terminator 2 is up there. The Lord of the Rings, I think, is up there as well. Yeah, Adam, I was aware of that. I was aware of that with the first season of The Boys. Or was it the second season? When you said, no, it was the first season. When you said the angel and devil on Butcher's shoulder were Patty Spivot from Flash and the comedian from Watchmen. Yeah, I knew that. Patty Spivot from Flash, I especially knew. I was like, wow, she's... Because in the Flash, she was supposed to be much younger because Barry is a young man, and then in The Boys, she's going out with a grown man, Butcher. And in the matter of just a few years, she went from a younger woman to like a middle-aged woman. Like in just a matter of a few years, a handful of years. I was like, that threw me off when I was younger. When I was watching The Boys, I remember that really threw me off. Aliens, Trevor Bistro. Yes, Aliens is also my favorite. Yeah, I love Aliens. Oh, Dead Wolf says, gotta go now. Had a fun stream. See you all next week. No problem, buddy. Well, I'm gonna end the stream in 10 more minutes. So it was great chatting with you. Take care, bud. Adam Grunter says T2 or Aliens. Which is the better Cameron film for you? They're both great, but I'd say Aliens. Aliens is probably paced better overall. To me, the slower part of the movie, at least the version of Terminator 2 I grew up watching and I still watch to this day, is there was a theatrical cut, then there was, I think, the extended cut, director's cut, and then there was a third cut that came out on Blu-ray or something. I don't like that third cut where it ends seeing an older John Connor. I like the cut in the middle where you have extended scenes, but they don't show all the extended scenes. I like those better. So yeah, the second cut was better, where it shows they're going inside the Terminator's head, the Arnold's head. That was a great scene. So I love that extended version. Well, what was it? Yeah, I love the slower part for Terminator 2 was always when they go to that desert, and then when John says to to Arnold, he goes, "Well, not gonna make it, are we?" Then he goes, "It's in your nature to destroy yourselves." I like that scene, but that scene to me, ever since I was a kid, there was just something about it where I felt like the pacing really took a nosedive. So that's, I'd say, is the only problem with it. But Aliens, it never felt like it never stopped. It was always cool. And I love the mother-daughter relationship between Ripley and Newt. That was really cool. The cop from Terminator 2 looks like Conan O'Brien. I can see what you mean, but at the same time, I would say no. Goat says, I'm going to bed. Bye. Take care, buddy. Thanks for joining the stream. Hopefully it won't be as late next week. Good Time says, hey Eric, I saw a video saying Sonic 4 will start shooting in February. Think this can be true, or is it possibly false? I think it's false. I don't think it's true. That would be way too quick. Brandon says, was Starscream portrayed well by Steve Buscemi in Transformers 1? Yeah, he was portrayed very well. That was a perfect voice cast, by the way, as well, for Starscream. Hey Eric, what are you excited for the most in 2025, says Khan. James Gunn's Superman. That's not being excited for just one movie, that's being excited for the whole DCU, because that movie has to do well in order for the DCU to be successful and for it to kick off. But yes, I'm looking very forward to that, because regardless, I'm a huge Superman fan, and he's my second favorite superhero, and that's also why I'm so excited for it. Jess says, Eric, I just found out that Peacemaker father is the cop from Terminator 2. I already knew that when I was watching it. He also does the voice of the sensei that teaches soccer in Avatar: The Last Airbender. That he also voices him as well, the one with the sword. GOTG now. What are you saying, Saeed? Are you talking about Guardians of the Galaxy? What are your top 5 favorite superhero movies of all time? Again, that's a list you really got to think about. I can't just off the top of my head do that. But I will say, The Dark Knight, Logan. Like I said, it's not one I can just think about. I'll just give you those two. I can't do a top 5 right now. Oh, Superman and Mission Impossible 8 are my most anticipated films of 2025, says Electrify. Yep, those are my 2 most anticipated movies as well. Big Bash says, Eric, what's the worst episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender if you had to choose? I'm sure there's about 2 of them. The worst episode I would say is Tales of Ba Sing Se. It's got a great one, a couple of great ones in there, particularly the one with Uncle Iroh, but the episode as a whole, I could skip that. And the G-Gamer has said another one that I was just going to mention, The Great Divide, because of the ending, the very last scene, that also makes it one of the weaker episodes. So yeah, there must be another one, but I can't really think of any others, I think. Skeleton Crew is one of the worst viewerships. I blame The Acolyte for the failure. I blame just Disney in general. They've been handling Star Wars like shit. The sequels really hurt it. The sequel trilogy, particularly The Last Jedi, that really hurt it. And another one that really hurt it was the Obi-Wan show. Everyone was looking forward to that, and people were like, wow, if you were going to screw up Obi-Wan, then there's no hope, essentially. V for Vendetta, Trevor, is a great superhero movie. I wouldn't put it in my top 5, though. Jess says, I'm only going to watch Superman and Avatar, Fire and Ash in theaters, but the others I'm going to wait until it's on digital. Cool. Avengers Infinity War, great movie. I wouldn't put it on my top list. Big Bash says, Eric, what's the worst episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender if you had to choose? Didn't I already mention? The worst if I had to choose. Go on, The Great Divide, maybe. I'll just put that there, The Great Divide. Yeah, Big Bash, I know. George Lucas did have plans for a sequel trilogy, but Disney did not listen to him. The Dark Knight for your top films of all time? Yeah, that is not my number 1 favourite movie of all time. Khan says, did you finally watch Arcane Season 2, Eric? If you have, what are your thoughts on it? I still haven't seen it, bud. I've still got to see the next season of Demon Slayer. I still haven't seen that either. I'm very busy. And I have been playing some games recently. So, I did finally beat the Bourne Conspiracy game. Yeah, there's a game that was on the PS3 called the Bourne Conspiracy. It was a video game. Always wanted to play it. I finally got to. Big Bashes. I remember watching videos like your Terminator Salvation review. Yeah, those are very old reviews. They clearly weren't when I was at my prime. That's for sure. Creator Edit says, you okay? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Why'd you ask? Do I not look okay? Khan says 2020 was a horrible year for Disney. Let's make this even worse for Disney now with how awful Snow White looks already. I think the Captain America Brave New World, I also think Captain America Brave New World, and I also think Snow White is going to be a 1-2 bad hit for Disney. It's not going to be doing good for them. And also, the Mufasa movie is clearly not doing what they wanted. If you take it into account, the first movie made like $1.7 billion, $1.8 billion or something. They wanted this to be a huge hit as well, and it's very underwhelming when you take those other numbers into account. Trevor says, have you ever watched John Carpenter's The Thing and Christine? I've seen The Thing, yeah. Gross, disgusting movie, but it was a good one. And then I haven't seen Christine yet. I want to, but I haven't seen it. Logan or X-Men Days of Future Past? I would say X-Men Days of Future Past is a better X-Men movie, but Logan is a better standalone movie, if that makes sense. I love them both. It depends what mood I'm in, but I'll say Logan. Got a $5 super chat from Kevin right here. Kevin says, films I think aren't that bad are Star Wars Episode 2, Men in Black 2, Superman Returns, Hobbit 1, Godzilla 2014, Ted 2, Alien Covenant, It Chapter 2, Indy 5, Beetlejuice 2. Yours? And you never saw both Goofy films. Yeah, I've never seen them. I wanted to when I was a kid, but we just never got them. Oh, Creator Edits, you were coughing and you were concerned. Yeah, I'm at the latter end of recovering from my cold, so that's why those coughs were there. But yeah, I am feeling better now. So Kevin, in answer to your question, movies that I think are not as bad as people say is like Spider-Man 3, X-Men 3, Iron Man 3, Thor 1, Captain America 1, The Incredible Hulk. Movies like that I think are not as bad as people say. The G-Gamer says, can I ask, once you release your Moana 2 versus Moana 1 video, I'm curious to know, what was that original audio of you saying it wasn't going to make $1 billion? I can't remember what context it's in, because it's about a 20-minute long video, so that's, a lot of stuff I'm talking. I was basically saying that Disney are not at the level that they normally would be at. Like, how come it didn't make as much as Inside Out 2? Considering that is a movie that was made around the same time period, and its sequel made a lot more than Moana 2. I think I was talking in that context, but I'm gonna have to cut it out. And luckily I've not put the music in the background yet, so it should be an easy way to cut out without having to do any big edits. Gamer Sources, have you played Insomniac Spider-Man 2, and what would you give it out of 10? I can't remember what I'd give it out of 10. I gotta look back at my notes, but I played it. I thought it was decent, but it was nowhere near as good as the first game. I thought a lot of story problems. The gameplay was just barely better than the first one. It just felt very disappointing, really. It really was a big letdown, I think. As far as sequels go, I was expecting it to be Arkham City, but instead it wasn't. It was like just Arkham... it was like a 1.5, Spider-Man 1.5, rather than Spider-Man 2, so it wasn't as great a sequel as I think I would have wanted it to be, I think. So yeah. I was playing some games on this earlier today. This might look like a Game Boy Advance SP, but it's really not. It's a Ambernic something SP. It's meant to look like the Game Boy Advance SP. I was playing a Street Fighter game on this earlier, Street Fighter 3, on the arcade or something. And yeah, I was having some fun with that. And I did that before we started the stream. I think I did it about half hour before I started the stream or something, or an hour before. Something like that. Are you a fan of Lego sets as a kid? Says Electrify. No, I always wanted the realistic action figures, not the Lego action figures, but I did enjoy the games. G-Gamer says, I gotta go now. Have a good day and good luck with Megamind 2 live watch. I'll try. Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to end the stream now because look at that. We're 2 hours, 2 minutes in. So thank you guys very much as always. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your donations. I really appreciate those as well. And thanks for sticking by on the stream. Uh, you guys know how much you mean to me. I love every single one of you. It was disappointing that I wasn't able to come have a live stream with you last week, but I'm happy that we're able to have one now. The cold went by very quickly, so that was great. And I hope all of you have a great new year. We are in 2025, and there is a lot that I would want to get done in 2025, especially on this channel. So, all of your support, I really appreciate. Like I said, if you want to become a Patreon member, you can. A YouTube member, you can. All of that support helps the channel, and it really makes me. It really helps me continue doing this for a living, which is what I'm ultimately trying to do. That's the goal. So I'm really hoping by the time it's this June, by the time I turn 30, I'm hoping there's a huge uptick with this channel. So spread the word, let people know about the videos that you watch, give them thumbs ups, comments on them, share them, and let me know if the comments are disabled on any of these videos, because they shouldn't be. So I'll enable the comments if any of them are disabled. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. Really appreciate it. Love all of you, and I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.